From the Green Room Studios at Bates Nursery in Nashville, Tennessee, it's Gardening Inside Out, a podcast with highlights from our Saturday morning live show, answering all your gardening questions, giving you plant advice for any space in your life. Let's start the show.
Hey, y'all, it's Caroline Gant.
Hey, y'all, it's Austin Lowen.
And Tyler Blankenship.
Yep, we're here. We're here before the snow.
Before the big, giant snow.
It's happening.
Now, when you hear this, it will be after the snow.
You're going to be snowed in if you are here in Middle Tennessee listening to this podcast, and probably many other places as well.
Or further on the East Coast, it might currently be snowing as it continues its path.
Mm-hmm. Because I guess
eastward.
People should know that it's actually Tuesday, February 18th right now.
Yeah, we don't usually reveal that.
We record a day before.
Leave it up
now
to me.
Now you know.
The big reveal.
It's not a live recording.
No, it's not.
You listen to your podcast.
Whoa.
But anyway, so tomorrow, though, February 19th, it will be snowing here. We will not be here at the nursery. We shut it all down. I don't know if y'all know this, but here in Nashville, Tennessee, when it snows, we just shut it all down, baby.
Yeah.
We're just like, nope, not coming into work today.
I don't drive until there's no snow anywhere.
And that's not just us. That's like the whole town. That's like all of Nashville. Music City is dead.
It's true.
No music plays.
No music.
When it snows.
Yep.
Dead
the
truth.
music dies when the snow falls.
Yeah, don't come to Broadway if it's snowing. Tyler,
Yeah,
turn your phone off.
exactly. I pressed the wrong button, man.
You pressed the wrong button. You're the tech guy, man. You're like the number one tech guy.
Yeah.
That's all right.
I'm prone to mistakes.
It's okay. But yes, we're prepping for the snow. I still got a lot of plants in pots. I'm probably going to lay them down when I get home, tarp them over.
No, you're not. Don't lie to our
Actually,
podcast.
I am. I'm not lying to anybody, including myself. I did that last time it got into the single digits.
You just laid them over?
I laid them over, put a tarp on them, kept them warm. All those roses still alive.
Cute.
I dollied.
Healthy buds on them. You don't believe me?
Yes, I believe you. You're going to cover them up. It's going to be great. The snow's coming down to cover them up, though.
You know what? That is true. Before we weren't really getting snow. It was going to be cold, and then we got snow later.
Yeah.
So you don't think I need to cover it? Sorry, Tyler.
I mean, I think it snow's a nice little blankie.
Okay, well, I won't cover the roses that I have in pots.
But if they die, don't blame it on me.
I'm going to blame it on you.
Okay.
So you want me to cover it?
Sure. If it makes you feel better.
All right, Tyler, what were you saying?
We good?
Yeah.
Okay. My laurels, which are still unplanted, have cold damage. Dun, dun, dun.
Yes.
But I moved them into my garage, like dollied them in, for the previous cold snap. So it might have been before that.
Are you taking them in this go around?
I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
But it's going to snow. That's the difference between the other one. It was just cold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But let's be honest. Like, what's the damage? It's like a little bit off color.
Some of the leaves have gone pretty brown.
Yeah.
Like discolored, kind of neutral brown, crispy.
Ooh.
But those
Not
are
the
on the
color
top.
you want for the laurel.
Yeah. I mean, but we've kind of had to deal with that with laurels, it seems like, over the past 2 or 3 years. It's like,
It's true.
we see some damage. There's other plants like Akuba, if you're familiar, it seems to suffer some damage over the winter. Euonymus seems to suffer damage over the winter nowadays, and it doesn't seem like it ever really used to do that all that much. But
And then they flush back out and they're fine.
that's the great thing. We've
Like
talked about
my
that.
Florida Sunshine Elysium every year.
That one
looks
definitely
like
takes damage.
Garbage
Gross.
right
Yeah.
now.
That thing is yuck over the winter.
But then in the summer,
yeah.
it's worth it.
I know, because we have to talk about this. Like, people think that like the old leaves are the ones that like somehow make new leaves in the spring or whatever. But like, no, like all the buds are on the stem. So like,
Right, not on the leaves.
the evergreen leaves that stay up can suffer some damage. But then you have those buds that crack in the spring, send out those beautiful new leaves we all love. And then typically, those old leaves slough off. Slough off?
Slough off.
That's a
Yeah,
word,
I
right?
think
Slough.
They slough off.
Slough
thanks,
off?
Thanks, Tyler.
Slough
No, they
off.
don't slough.
No.
No. Either way, the new ones make new, and they're beautiful and lustrous and green and fantastic. So hopefully, Tyler, your damaged laurel leaves will just be there until the spring happens.
Yeah, and then it'll look great. Nobody looks good in the winter, including
Even
the
me.
three of us.
Speak for yourself.
Okay.
No.
All right, everyone who's listening. Austin looks great during the winter, but me
Thanks.
and Tyler suffer a little bit. And that's okay.
Tell you what, it's been cold winter. Like
For us,
yeah.
It's had a lot of ups and downs.
that too.
That's always, it seems like, the case.
We
I
had a
mean,
couple days in the 70s.
I know. You were talking just the other night. You were saying that on your front. It was like 60 degrees at night.
On Saturday, it was, in the high 50s.
And Sunday morning, you woke up to freezy.
To freezing.
Frozy.
I got home at 2 a.m. and I woke up at 5. And between that time, it went from 50s to 30s.
It's crazy.
It's Tennessee.
Mm-hmm. That is Tennessee.
Wild.
But we love it. We love it here. Won't be long. You talked about some things you saw bloom. And talk about that one thing you just talked about.
I saw winter jasmine blooming the other day.
Hey.
Not full bloom, but I would say it was about half.
What about
maybe a third?
Some winter jasmine? Mm-hmm. What y'all know about winter jasmine?
That it's drapey and beautiful, at least in the late winter, very, very early spring.
Mm-hmm. You know what's cool about winter jasmine?
What?
Well, first off, it flowers in a weird time of year, which is very, very early spring. And like you said, some sporadic blooms even now in the wintertime.
Yeah.
But it loses its leaves over the wintertime, like it certainly does. But it has those green arching stems that always stay green. They never get rough. They never get brown or whatever, discolored.
Yeah.
Always stay green. So it almost resembles the look of an evergreen plant, even though it's not.
It's kind of like my Scotch broom that I have. Except
Exactly
that's
like that.
upright. It doesn't really, fall.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't cascade much.
Mm-hmm. And I've got that, excuse me, in a pot, and it's looking great right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're fantastic when they have green stems. Like I've often thought with winter jasmine, like why shouldn't they be in a hanging basket?
That'd
Think
be
about
cute in
it.
a hanging basket, but it's very shrubby. It gets real big.
Well, I know, but if you restrict it in a littler hanging basket and just have it flowy over the winter, the winter months.
We might need to try that. Do we ever get it? We don't get them in small sizes, though.
Well, no, and
It's
you
like
don't ever
3
see them
gallon.
in hanging baskets, hardly ever.
We're going to make that happen. Have either of you ever grown winter jasmine?
It's a little much for me. And
Nope.
that's saying
A
something.
little much for you?
Yes, I
That's
told
saying
you.
a lot.
Well, it's so stemmy and gnarly and all over itself and shrubby and wow, it just really does something. So I'm like, nah, it's too much.
Just too much for Austin.
It is. Yeah, and you're right. I don't say that much.
Well, y'all get me one and we can test it and kind of see how it goes. Yeah?
The only other thing with the winter jasmine is that it's just such a quick early bloomer and then
Yeah.
it's done. It's spent for the year. It blew it way too early, man.
You've just got to layer it with other seasonal interests that
I
come up
guess.
at different times.
I guess. I don't know. It's
You
not for
sound
me.
mad at it right now.
I have seen it in a very good application, spilling over a retaining wall that was probably like 4 feet tall, and it went like all the way to the other edge of it.
That sounds amazing.
You've seen this. It was in Nashville somewhere over top of, it was like on Charlotte somewhere, like over top of a retaining wall.
Yes, it used to be outside of St. Anne's Episcopal Church.
That is where it is. Yep.
Yes. And they have since removed it. It is no longer there, and
That's
it makes
'cause
me sad.
It was too much for them.
It was huge. It was like eating the sidewalk, but it was stunning.
Yeah, it was.
I
But you know
remember
what?
even as a kid, like driving by and looking at it.
Episcopals have great, impeccable taste for landscaping, by the way.
Really?
If you look at Episcopal churches around town, like everyone that I've been to, some of them have really nice like courtyards. With
That is true. Yeah.
great landscaping around the sides. There's one in like Donaldson. There's one in the west side of Nashville. Even the one that's like on Broadway downtown.
That's very
Good
interesting. I did
landscaping.
not know that.
Well, if you are affiliated with St. Anne's and you're listening to this podcast right now,
Great work.
great work. You should replant that winter jasmine because I miss it when I go to Southern Thrift.
Well, you know what? Look, I'm a little bit mad right now because this is a common thing that happens so much, and that's that people say my landscaping has gotten too big. It's overgrown. I hate it. It's large, especially with like hollies. Things get just too big around your homes.
That is true.
Okay, so they say this. I'm just ripping it all out and I'm starting all over. Okay, but look, this winter jasmine was beautiful. It was huge, and yeah, it got too big for the area. But for most of its life, it was beautiful and flowy and green stems and yellow flowers and everything you really wanted. So then you're just like, I'm going to get rid of it all at once? Like, no, chop it to the dirt. Let it regrow. Like, you're not going to kill it. So why are people so quick to just rip everything out?
I don't know.
It's annoying to me. Like, just start over.
You're getting worked up right now.
I'm sorry,
I
I'm
think
sweating.
our listeners can tell.
Yeah.
Tyler across
right.
the room looks very
He's scared. I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good
Tyler,
thing we're
I'm sorry.
far. You're not close to him.
I'm going to take my flannel off and restart.
Oh, the flannel's coming off.
Yep.
Austin is resetting.
I'm sorry. I'm
St.
sorry.
Anne's, you're doing a great job. You know, you probably had to remove it for a reason. But I did love when they'd give it like a sharp haircut. It seemed like in the middle of the summer sometimes, and it would just be like a bowl cut coming off the edge of the sidewalk.
Yeah. See, once again, though, that's not the way to do it. Like, don't make it look goofy. Like, just start over.
I enjoyed the bowl cut. I thought it was great.
Okay, for you, I guess
You
it was
go
great.
on down to Bobby's Dairy Dip, you walk past that bowl cut, and you know, it's
Man,
great.
don't make it look goofy, son. That's what you sound like.
I know. I'm mad all over the place.
You're mad all over the
Goofy
place.
haircuts, just straight up removing. I'm mad at all of it. Just cut it to the dirt. Let it regrow, people. Happens all the time. Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I do want to try winter jasmine, although I don't have a big retaining wall to plant it over to have it spill.
Well, you don't have to do that,
I know
Kelly.
you don't have to, but I feel like that's the right application. Although I do have a very steep hillside, so I could plant it at the top of it, I guess.
I guess.
But yeah, as I said that, I was like, it's not that exciting.
Yeah.
Well,
You know what y'all do?
where's the drama? You know,
I
That's
need
right.
the drama.
Yes.
I can't
Don't we
have
all?
Kev standing in my front yard
The
being
wall
dramatic all
is
the
the
time. It's got to
cliff.
be a plant.
the wall is the precipice, and it needs danger to
right.
cascade.
You know what? I'll
I'm
give you
going to
some
have
drama.
to build a retaining wall now.
Yeah, here's what you can
ones.
do. Yeah, here's some drama danger. Go to a big, large tree in your yard. Cut a big hole about 8 foot up.
And put it in there?
Yeah.
Actually, I
That's a great
do
idea.
have a tree
See?
that has a big hole in it,
See?
about
You're thinking about it.
Wait.
probably 5.5 foot
Notch
up.
the hill out. Is that what you're
Notch
saying?
One of my
tree
farm
out.
cats likes to get in it
That's what I'm saying.
and sleep in there during the day.
So there's already a hole there.
There's already a hole there.
Perfect. Throw some dirt in there. Winter jasmine.
I don't want to try
It's going to
this.
dangle down. You
It's
talk
going
about
to kill
drama.
that tree, isn't it?
No, Lord, no.
Are you sure?
No. What kind of tree is it?
You know what kind of tree it is.
Silver maple?
Silver maple.
It don't even matter.
Ooh.
I mean, that tree ain't got much longer. So just try it.
Excuse me? Those
Look.
silver maples be around for a while.
Ish.
I have a huge one.
Okay.
And these are like babies compared to that one.
I can just see it now. I can see your winter jasmine, green hair, just falling out of that tree. You
It's trailing.
googly eyes. You know, you've seen the tree art. We sell that stuff like that, right?
I'm not doing that.
Like
I'm not doing
eyeballs
that.
on the tree?
No, I'm just going to put
With the
winter-
hair?
No, I'm not putting googly eyes on it.
Okay, you don't have to do the googly eyes, but you do have to do the winter jasmine in the hole.
Okay.
Let it spill.
Do we have any at the nursery right now?
Yeah,
Are you
I'll
buying
find
me
you
one
some.
at the end of the day?
No, I'll get you cutting.
If you're listening right now, email us and tell Austin he needs to buy me that. I don't want a cutting. That's
I'll get
going to
you
take
cutting.
forever.
I'll get you 8 cuttings.
St. Anne's, if you're listening and you still have that you pulled up, I'll go ahead and pick it.
Ask a church to fund your habit.
Reverse charity.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get one. Austin's going to buy me one when we're done. I'll play
St.
it.
Anne's, I'm a little bit mad. You need to pay me back that jasmine.
Woo. We did not expect
My
us to go
vision
to
has
winter
been
jasmine.
robbed.
We didn't. Yeah, guys, listeners, we never really know what we're going to talk about when we start this intro.
Well, don't tell them
And
that.
it always goes somewhere great.
That's true. You can
That's
tell.
why it's so good. We
That is
talk
true.
about plants, and
You
I mean,
guys-
it's a natural conversation, which is what I want to listen to. And
True.
I guess you guys want to listen to it too.
You guys
Just
what we do.
double
You're
down
listening
on
right
it.
now.
I'm over here like listening in shock at the depths that we get to.
Yeah. Tyler tries to keep us in order a little.
Hey, no, not
Yeah,
that
a
bad.
little. No, you're not bad at all.
Loose
You're very
structure.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, everybody, let's remember it's gonna get cold. Let's be mindful. And then
You
you guys
don't
are
sound like that.
you guys are just like, yeah, that plant's crazy, man. You just chop it down and whack, boom.
Definitely what we sound like, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
You guys
know
are
what?
like
We
the
appreciate
wrestlers
it.
that they let into the room, and you just start jumping and cracking tables. And I'm like, okay,
plant
this is
wrestlers.
fine.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
You know what we should do since we're on the since we're on the topic of we just get random. Tyler, top of your head within 3 seconds, name one plant. I don't even care what it is. One plant. 3 seconds. Go.
Verbena.
Verbena. Okay. Hey, you know what? He did it. Let's talk about verbena.
Verbena.
What y'all know about verbena? Okay. Here in Middle Tennessee,
Lemon
sounds
verbena.
I know
with B.
it was
Lemon
my
verbena.
nickname for a
Okay.
while from my mom.
Really?
There you go.
That's cute. I was gonna go somewhere. Decided not. Anyway. Verbena is sometimes perennial here in Nashville, sometimes not. We have annual verbena as well, both beautiful, typically ground covers or in hanging baskets.
How about lemon verbena?
That one smells fantastic.
That's I grew that one this
I
year.
grew that, and I'm still making tea out of it. And the crazy thing is, I dried it, and I'll put the tea leaves in my teapot, make tea, and the leaves rehydrate and turn green again. And unlike any other plant that I've made tea out of.
You mean like
and
you
I
put
make
it in
a
your
lot
tea?
of tea.
Like you put it
You
in
make
your tea and it
out
grains
of
back?
Yeah, you can make tea from
is
an
the
Austin.
tea.
Oh, yeah.
It is the tea.
It is the tea.
It is the tea. But when I got done the first time, I was like, wow, it looks like I just pulled a leaf off of a fresh plant.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been dry for months.
It is one of the most scented plants. Like it's insane how.
Oh, yeah.
It will knock you down. And let's be honest, it grows like a weed. I mean, verbena in general grows like a weed.
Lemon
A good
verbena.
weed though.
I'm gonna
Lemon
plant
verbena
a
is good.
ton of it this summer.
Yes, I give you that. As an herb, if you're not growing that one, put that in your herb bed because it's worth it.
Put it in your herb back pocket.
Mm-hmm.
It's time. It's time for you to grow.
That was the main one that I was referring to, was lemon verbena. But
I
you
like that
said
one.
3 seconds, so I panicked.
Hey, no, I like it. I haven't thought about verbena in a minute because that's that hot loving summer annual that just once it gets hot and dry, it is money.
And
now, I
big
will
and
say,
bushy.
Hey, what?
gets bushy fast.
Yeah, especially lemon verbena. There's a lot of the ground covers too. You know, we have what's the common name for verbena? It's weird. Vervain. Isn't that a
Really?
weird name?
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
Vervain? Yeah, whatever.
Vervain.
But there's one that's our Homestead Purple. That's our kind of true perennial here.
Oh, yeah.
What a great
yeah.
ground cover.
I've never grown it.
You know what sucks about verbena though?
What?
Hey, the deadheading is it's tricky.
Is it not
It's not fun.
really?
Well, it's annoying to deadhead, and there's a lot. I mean, it blooms like profusely. So what do you want? It's like I'm going to sit here and be mad at verbena for blooming like a beautiful little plant that it is.
You're not mad at most flowers unless they turn down.
I'm not. You're right. But verbena is a difficult one to deadhead. So as much as it blooms, that's as much as I got to deadhead, and I'm kind of mad.
And you're mad at it.
A little.
Let's talk about what you're mad at today.
I just did.
Deadheading verbena in St. Anne's.
But I am not mad at those folks.
Caroline, you're projecting a little, I
I
think.
think so.
Got her. So, okay, 3 seconds. Austin, or no, Caroline.
Caroline's turn. I'm not doing it.
Is it my turn? You're not doing it.
No, I quit.
Upright phlox.
Upright phlox. A powdery mildew magnet.
Oh, it is.
Said it.
But if you plant it and it establishes, which usually for me it's about 25% will take, they look great.
Well,
I have bright eyes and I love that one.
That's the
that one
cultivar.
gave me blooms, throughout the summer.
yeah. Well,
It
they
rebloomed
do.
a
I
couple
mean,
times. I mean, it is. I need to move it because I want to redo this bed, but I'm scared too.
I think you nailed it when you said like 25% of the time, upright phlox is beautiful. I mean, unbelievably beautiful. Mm-hmm. But it's like it's
Bridget and
25% of the time.
Bridget and I have talked about this, about how that's just, we're like, I don't even know. It just seems like across the board for everybody, at least here in Middle Tennessee, and maybe because when, in the spring, it's so wet and so humid here, that has something to do with it. But yeah, anytime I planted it.
I mean, I think that's got the most to do with it. And most other, like some people from different states could be listening to us right now and be like, what are you talking about? Upright phlox is fantastic every year. And it very well could be.
Well,
but,
if it establishes and it comes back year to year, I've had one in the ground for 4 years now that's like stunning.
yeah, and we have plenty of them here that do that. But there's a lot of times where they don't. And it's totally a mix of that. Like I said, right off the rips, the powdery mildew. So, I mean, you were talking about very moist, warm springs for us in Middle Tennessee, and it's just powdery mildew magnet. Mm-hmm. But if you get it past that, it can be fantastic. What's that variety? David is a cultivar name, and it's very mildew resistant if you like a real pure white. There's another one, not Jolene, something like that.
I don't know.
Starts with a J.
I know that Bright Eyes
Starts with a J, ends with an een.
but it's pretty.
Nah.
Jolene. And it
ain't
smells
that.
great. Bright Eyes smells amazing. All right, you go. Oh my gosh.
I know. I can't even think of a plant right
Go.
now. Not a single
Go.
plant.
3, 2, 1.
Equisetum.
Really?
Wow. Out the
Horsetail
back door.
reed? Wow.
I don't know why I said out the back door.
A monster of a plant that you never want to put in ground.
Equisetum.
That's right.
I will say, you go around to these new hotels around downtown Nashville, and they love that plant and their planters.
I agree. And, if you don't know what we're talking about, equisetum is the botanical name of horsetail reed.
Yes.
Horsetail reed.
Which is those almost bamboo-ish looking, extremely dark green, beautiful green, actually, stalky stems that come up.
Moisture loving.
Yes, they can live in water. They've got cylindrical rings that go around them, black actual cylindrical rings that go up it. They look Jurassic, and believe it or not, they are like a prehistoric plant.
They truly are. If you're listening right now, and I mean, I love it. I like how they look, and you're thinking about planting it in the ground, do not.
Oh, watch out. Yeah, just don't.
You will never get rid of it. Your neighbors in a few years will be so upset with you.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing that Caroline's talking about is that this plant grows from underground like you wouldn't believe. So it pops up new stems all over the place. But this plant reproduces from spores, not from seeds, okay? Weird, first off, in the plant world. That's extremely weird. More like ferns. So when you have spores, what do you have? Like 10 billion spores.
And it's everywhere.
All over. And anywhere they can germinate, they will, and they
But
pop
also,
up.
if you try to pull it up or dig it up, you cannot do it.
No, you can't. You're right. It's like bamboo, like very similar to that. Like if you plant bamboo, you have it for life pretty much. Same with equisetum. But like Caroline said at the very beginning, she nailed it with this like rectangular concrete planters. I can see it now.
They do look great.
Modern, this modern hotel look. I see a clear window behind it. Someone just cleaned it.
that window.
They just cleaned it real good.
Yep.
And then right inside, you got equisetum sticking up tall and modern looking. Oh, money.
It is a good look.
It
Yeah.
is. It's beautiful.
You got to keep
Absolutely.
it contained, though.
And it stays green through the wintertime. especially inside a hotel. I mean, outside it does too, but it looks a little ratty. Not gonna lie, it gets a little rough.
Everything does. We talked about that at the top of the show.
Yep, but then giving it a great little weed eat in the spring, a choppy chop to the dirt, like I talked about earlier, and then you get fresh. Yeah, I see your choppy hands.
Yeah,
you know how to do it. And then once you chop it, new stuff comes up from the ground. Oh man,
I can't believe that's the plant you named.
I can't.
I
either.
think Tyler and I were both pretty shocked.
I have no clue where that came from.
Well,
It
it
just
took you
came
a
out?
long time to think of it.
Not more than 3 seconds.
I counted them down.
It was.
Yeah, it was like 6 or 7.
That particular 3-second period yielded equisetum. So
Yeah,
we'll
that's
go
what
with that
came out of your brain
you
from
go.
the depths of Austin's brain.
Well, there you go.
Equisetum
Equisetum.
Now we should talk about what came from the depths of
of Saturday.
of Saturday.
It's time to get into it.
Man, I wasn't even here Saturday.
You weren't. We actually had a couple guests sitting in.
We had to. I flooded in.
Austin got flooded. You were kind of here, which everyone will get to hear. We'll let it be a surprise.
I had a different name.
You did have a different name. Austin Waters joined us on the show, everyone.
Well, you told them the name.
Well, I told them the name, but they don't know what I'm talking about.
You'll see.
But we did have Ben sitting in for Austin and Adam Chapman sitting in for David. And I did not say Ben's last name, so Ben Trest was
Benny
here.
Benny. Just Benny.
Ben Benifer Trest was
That's him.
on the show. And Adam Chappie Chapman was on as well
He's
as
a
Josh Carey,
Trustworthy fellow.
myself, and Tyler Blankenship.
And not me.
Austin is got some silly excuse about the river coming up over the bridge in front of the house.
He doesn't have a boat to get to work today.
No.
So can't make it in.
Okay.
I mean, I don't feel any rain out here.
Caroline, do we have any questions from our
We do have
viewers?
some questions, but there are some things that I want to talk about before we
Okay.
get to our questions. So Austin and I have spent most of this week building something in the houseplant greenhouse on my favorite aisle, the cactus and succulent aisle. We are replacing these old metal shelves that we had up that drove me absolutely insane. There was all this negative space. The trays would fall off. It just wasn't really conducive to that aisle. So
Tell us how you really feel.
I hated them.
Okay.
Bridget loves them. So Bridget has them now.
Win-win.
Everybody's happy, but we do have a photo of it. We're not quite done with it. And unfortunately, Austin won't be here today because he's flooded in to finish the job.
But that's
I'm so happy.
even though
It looks so much
desi-
cleaner.
Yeah, nice and square spots. But if you like Ben, you were bringing it up. If you got an old sink, man, that would be great.
And, you know, make it, and you can always change it later.
Yeah, we've made a couple down in the greenhouse. Some potting tables with old sinks or whatever.
Even an old
very
number
similar.
2 wash tub, you can modify those to
certainly.
make those work out. Build them in, let them roll.
Certainly.
But yeah, there's always a sink available over at the Restore or something like that.
Oh,
you
yeah.
can find them. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
In a
amazing.
holler somewhere, probably.
In a holler. Yeah, go look in the hollers. They're probably washing everywhere today. You'll be able to find them all in the ditches on the side of the road. But yeah, wintertime is time for projects here at the nursery. And that is just one of the many projects that we as the staff have been working on.
Yes.
We've got tables to build, more shelves, more pottery, y'all.
Lots of pottery.
Lots of
That's
pottery.
Statuary.
Lots of pottery that's still in its packaging.
Yes, because we got so many in back to back. I know. It's a
And the
lot.
pottery came, the statuary came in. did it not?
Yes, and
Yeah, yeah.
statuary is here as well. We got 3 pallets of just the first round of statuary. We will get another, but do not come running out here yet because it is not out yet.
Okay.
So,
Favorite.
Unless you want to buy the whole pallet, then you know.
absolutely, we can talk about just a bulk surprise price.
But you can't
won't know
look
what's
before you-
inside
No, no,
because it's all wrapped
exactly.
up.
You don't know what's in it.
But Joyce, come on out. I'd love for you to just buy a pallet of pottery. That would make me so happy.
Yep, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. Hey, we see you out
Collect
there.
the whole set.
Yeah.
But yes,
YouTube.
Josh, we do have some questions
Okay.
this morning. Are we ready to get into them?
Let's go.
I was born ready.
Were you? All right. When to cover and uncover new-ish roses. They were planted back in the spring.
Cover.
Cover and uncover. So I think they're talking about cold weather. When do they need to cover them? And then when should they take that cover off?
I went to look at some yesterday, some climbing roses out in Springfield, and he's like, "But what should we do? You know, they're doing it over an arch in a garden, and that thing had green stems the whole way up. It looked real happy, and yesterday it was frigid out there. I mean, it was it felt like in the teens, and that rose was happy. So I wouldn't do anything.
Yeah, I don't know that I would do anything. I mean, really, yeah, the hybrid teas, maybe if you've got some, you may want to. Probably should have already mulched them pretty good. I mean, that's really where you want to, protect is that root system, and if you're going to do any pruning to them, you might as well do it now,
Yeah.
and then that way there's less there to get hit by any cold. But we've already been through cold like we're going to have this week, so should be okay.
Yeah, unless we get like a warm spell late March
Right.
or something, that's where we'd have to watch out.
Luckily, everything is still pretty dormant. So
Going to have good soil moisture this week too. So
very true, very true. So I think shouldn't have to do any covering, except for, like I was saying, just the roots. If you haven't mulched them, need to do that.
Time to get out there and mulch. So you do have to drive here today in the rain. Get you a bag of earth mix mulch.
Well, just be careful,
Drive slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yes.
Do it.
Okay.
We got a live question in from Jane Ann Gibbs. Jane is asking, what is the best practice for how to care for the strawberry bed in February through April before the berries begin blooming?
Maybe some pine straw or something to, this would be a good time to start
Underneath.
putting it underneath. I mean, would have been nice to do it before all this rain came.
Yeah. Last week I've got one of my raised beds that about half of it, probably all of it eventually, is just going to be strawberries, and I got out there and did some weeding, and I haven't put any straw down. I should. Maybe I'll do that.
Or something just to help you keep them from getting all gross.
Yeah. So I mean, you could do that now. Yeah, you could do it now.
Very cool.
So,
Very nice. Joyce
I
is
guess
saying,
you could fertilize. I mean, it may be a little early.
You could put down some plant tone or garden tone, or even supernatural would be.
do a lot. I have strawberries that I planted, and now I just let them take over my yard. But then we mow over them. I can't find them. I don't know where they are. Then I see the strawberries. I eat a couple.
Then the squirrels get them.
Then the squirrels get them.
And the rabbits.
The little bunnies. We have a lot of rabbits. We've got a groundhog that I'm sure gets it that lives in our barn in a giant hole. Our lawn guy said he was 3 feet tall. I don't think that's true.
I think the groundhogs were getting flooded out of their dens, because I saw 2 or 3
buddies.
yesterday.
Yeah.
Just like lost,
No.
confused, like not, running across the road, and like, well, what do I do?
They're so cute. Did you pick them up, take them home, and then you'll put them back when it stops raining?
If I do that, he's gonna go.
I
in one of
wouldn't
my
grab
pots.
him, Adam.
No.
No. Do not touch that.
I'm just kidding. Don't get the groundhog.
No.
Hey, but y'all, Joyce is commenting quite a lot. Good morning, Joyce. We love hearing
Morning.
from you. Joyce says, I guess Austin should have built an ark. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
He should have known this day was coming.
Yeah.
Where he wouldn't be able to get into
I
the
told
show.
him to get a buoy, like just build a dock, essentially, now at this point.
It'll
have
just
it
float up. Yeah. I don't think there's any way he could have made it across. I was like, do you want me to pick you up? And he was like, I will wash away.
That'd be dangerous.
And then Joyce says, I bought 2 pallets, super sack pallets of landscape this week. So Joyce already has enough
Nice.
pallets, I guess.
There
So
you go.
she's not going to come out and get a pallet of pottery.
Wow.
You sure, Joyce?
Thank you for doing that, though. It's awesome.
Got to put the landscape in something. I mean,
Yeah.
put it in pottery.
She's got
That
plans.
is
Sure.
true.
Sure.
I mean, you can't really put it in statuary.
No.
You can put it around it.
Yes.
The statuary
Under
statuary
it?
does under it, yeah. Mount it up, get it up even higher.
Yeah.
You
there
could do
go.
a lot. But let's get to another question, because we do have a lot of questions.
Okay.
I pruned a limelight hydrangea last year, and now it is weak. How do I prune now? I don't know if you could weaken a limelight hydrangea.
Like maybe it
I have cut
grew
mine
excessively
like crazy.
last year a little bit.
Yeah, I guess maybe the stems. Because sometimes that happens where it'll flush and then bloom before the stems can get thicker and more girth to them, and they'll just kind of
Turn
get
down a little bit.
Yeah, so actually, because they bloom on new growth, you can, if you want to, probably the best would be to prune them now, or before they come out of dormancy. I think, and then get them to shape you want. And once they flush this spring, they will have time. Those new stems will have time to strengthen before the blooms come out. So,
I will be pruning mine soon. I'm not quite ready because I like Josh. No, you don't like the old blooms. It's David. I leave my spent blooms up, but it's about time for me to prune my
They make me
lights back.
sad.
it is.
They just do. They just make me sad.
It's just something you don't want to forget about.
the brown blooms.
Brown.
I like. How do you feel about them, Adam?
Well, I think it has to do something with my laziness, because I just let them stay. Not because I necessarily like the way they look, but I don't have a limelight. I have quick fire, which the blooms are spaced a little further apart, and so the cone is not as dense, and so it doesn't tend to look as ratty as the limelight does when it gets
that word.
Well, it just does. They're so close together they can kind of rot and look bad with the limelight. But with the quickfire, the blooms are spaced further apart, and the plant itself seems woodier. I have a quickfire I've had for almost 20 years, and I've never pruned. I've never pruned it.
Is it so? It's like a tree now.
Yeah, I've tree formed it. It's like 9 foot tall and wide.
Wow, I
it's
bet
huge.
that's gorgeous.
It's on the corner of my
blooming.
house. It's awesome. So I mean, if I were going to prune it would be now. It would be right now.
Yeah, I'll prune mine in the next couple of weeks. Yeah. How do you feel about it?
I like leaving them up, but I have all my grasses up. But it's something you have to get around to in the spring. So if you get caught up in everything and miss it, the boat sailed. So
yeah. I did cut some of my switchgrass this week, but it was looking a little ratty, so it was time for it to go. But I have others up. All right, we got a question from Miriam, friend of the show. Hey, Miriam. Miriam says, I have a volunteer American elm that's about a 2-inch caliper. Should I do anything about Dutch elm?
I would call an arborist. I mean, and honestly, that's probably an age to where they could start treating it lightly. I mean, I don't even know if they would need to do injections for something that small.
No, it's probably small enough they can do.
That's a super prize. That's not a volunteer. If you can keep it. It'd be awesome.
Well, it's a preventative thing, and you can't you can't say whoops. It's you either do it or don't and hope. So you might see what an arborist. I mean, that's a smaller tree, so I would hope it wouldn't be that big of a job to treat it.
Yeah, I would think at this size, you could probably do it yourself, whatever it is that you would want to do, dormant oil or, whatever you want to do. But yeah, an arborist would probably be able to give you the best advice going forward.
Yeah, I mean, I think soil drenches, I mean, you'd probably have to get some sort of like a injectable.
It would have to be, I mean, most likely it would have to be systemic, whatever it was, yeah.
Yeah, I would get started. I mean, at least look into options.
Look into it.
She knows people. I'm sure
she does. Miriam knows.
Yeah,
Miriam knows a couple people. Yeah. Miriam, we need to have you on the show again. It's been a minute. It's been years, I think, since Miriam was on. All right. When should you trim your dogwoods?
Well, I mean, now's also a good time. You're gonna if you've got buds on those stems, you're gonna lose those flowers, but because they're dormant, it's still a good time. You're just gonna have to bite the bullet and lose a few blooms.
I would wonder why you would want to trim your dogwood.
I mean, be careful of changing the shape by doing heavy pruning. I would only do it for utility to keep it off your house or if it's weighed one way or the other.
Usually
I
like a good old gnarly dogwood.
Yeah, you just want to let them go.
They start twisting, the branches start twisting. So let them go as long as you can.
And they take so long to grow. They're so slow. Like I have a big old gnarly dogwood on my property, and then I planted a couple more close to it, and they've been in the ground 5 years, and they've barely done anything. But they will. They'll keep growing.
They've got buds on them now, though. Their buds are.
Yeah, they're budded
out.
out.
To be almost blueberry size right now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited for when they start blooming. It's a fun time of year. Hey, we got a live question in from Connie. Good morning, Connie.
Wow.
What is your general opinion about loblolly pines as fast-growing replacement for a row of hackberries? I mean, I like it a lot better than hackberries. I need something fast with tall trunks that we can see through to the meadow beyond.
If you want to see through it, I don't think it's a bad option because you are eventually going to see through those trunks. Well, eventually, meaning in a couple years. They're going to grow so fast.
Yes.
I don't know about sturdiness as far as like wind and stuff like that with a loblolly being in a line. I don't know if they would.
Yeah, because in general, the faster something grows, the less strength they have in their trunk and stems and all that. So, and pines, loblollies particularly, and white pines too, grow fairly fast. So, I mean, they're, used to, that's what you saw all the time when people would plant, windbreaks or just big, privacy screens. It was a pine. It was a pine tree, Yeah. But, now with green giants and that kind of thing, it's, you got better options.
Yeah, absolutely. And keep in mind, they're not going to last forever.
No,
Maybe
pines
not
are
that
fairly
bad.
short-lived.
What,
And
about
that's
30,
that's the
30
other
years,
thing.
maybe?
Yeah, that's the other thing about anything that's fast-growing. Their lifespan is less too.
And I always recommend interplanting it. You might do loblolly with green giant.
Sure,
have something that has a
sure.
longer lifespan, but give it some gaps, and so they kind of support each other a little bit.
Yeah.
Gardening Inside Out is brought to you by Earth Mix Garden Products, creating regionally sourced high-quality soil blends and amendments for the sustainable-minded gardener. Fall and winter are great times to plant in the Southeast, and Earth Mix can help you with Landscape Soil Conditioner. Mix Landscape with your native soil to feed all winter long. Added mycorrhizal fungi help your plants get established faster and increase hardiness through the year ahead. Visit earthmix.net for more information and retailers near you. Remember, success begins at the ground level when you use Earth Mix Garden Products.
We actually we have somebody special on the line right now.
Oh, a call-in?
Oh.
Yeah, should we bring them in?
I think we
it's
should.
time.
Special guest, enter and sign in, please.
Okay.
Here we go.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Oh,
What?
Good morning.
I recognize that.
Good morning.
Kevin's here.
Yeah.
If you're wondering who
got
Kevin
your-
is, it is Austin.
Yes, we got your live reporter here. This is Austin Waters here reporting. Austin Waters.
Sound like you're underwater.
yeah.
I'm lost in
In
waters.
the middle.
I am. Just so everyone knows, here on the forefront, we're flooded.
Okay.
Oh,
Things
no.
are real. Some would say the end of days.
Okay.
Well,
And you don't have your arc, like Joyce said.
I don't have my what?
Your
I
arc.
can't hear you. Sorry, the flood waters.
Oh.
Your arc. You don't have your arc.
No, I don't. I need y'all to bring me a boat after the show. A boat would have been nice before the show, but we're out of boats here, so I'm flooded in. But I wanted to talk to everybody. How are we doing?
Great.
yeah, we're doing great,
We're doing
sir.
good. I mean, missing your presence, but now we have your voice on the show.
Exactly.
So
Mm-hmm.
That'll get
Yes,
us
it's
through.
great to be here. It only took me an hour. It only took me an hour to come up with Austin Waters reporting live here.
AW.
Yes,
Do you have any feedback on the goat situation?
on the goat situation. Well, some would say it's raining cats and dogs. I'd say it's raining horses and goats here. I'm really in the thick of it. Other than that, no. The chickens are happy. They're frolicking around in the lake.
Good for them.
happy
So,
chickens.
yeah, things are okay.
The chickens are in the lake?
Chickens are in the lake.
Okay.
I'm sure they're going for a
Yeah.
little swim.
Okay.
There's a new lake. There never used to be a lake. There's a new lake here, and the chickens are frolicking.
Chicken lake.
So
Is it
Got
Lake
it.
Lowen?
yes, it's Lake Lowen. Yes, it's growing as we speak. So things are okay here. It's been better.
Okay.
I'm getting soaked in the rain.
I
Are you
bet.
literally outside?
Are you standing in your
I'm
creek?
literally in the rain for y'all. Yes, this is live reporting at its best
Okay.
from Bates Nursery, not from Bates Nursery, from Cheatham County. But
Wow.
I am out in it. So this is what y'all get.
Well, thank
Ben,
you.
are you there? Is Ben
I'm
alive?
here.
Ben, are you
I'm
there?
alive.
Ben's
I
alive.
made it.
He's sitting right
Ben.
next to me.
Good. Thank you, Ben. He came in on short notice for me today because I did not have the boat I needed to get across my bridge. So thank you, Ben, for being there. Adam, thank you for filling in too, although
Yes.
you've been a regular on the show. So
Yes, my
okay,
pleasure.
guys.
My pleasure, sir.
All right.
Be careful. Go
I'm
save
staying
the chickens.
stoked.
They
Stay
don't know
dry.
how to
Yeah.
swim, Austin.
Don't get in that creek, Austin Waters.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Okay, yeah, I'll try to stay out of the creek. The rain's picking up. I love all of you and the Gardening Inside Out crew. Y'all have a great show. I'll talk to you later. Afterwards, bring me a boat, please.
Yes.
Help him.
All right, we'll get to you, Kev.
We'll
See you,
build.
Kev.
All right,
We'll
love
build
y'all.
one out of Zelkova.
Your favorite
Negative.
tree.
That wood doesn't float, Tyler.
It'll sink.
You'll make it
Okay,
float.
love y'all.
All right.
There you
Love you
go.
too,
All right.
man.
Austin Waters out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Glad we got that update.
Okay,
Yeah.
folks.
Austin Waters.
We need to get him as the with a yellow slicker on.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, for that.
The video feed, if we could have gotten it, would have been
epic.
There's no way he could have figured that out
The cherry on top.
this soon to the show. One day, though. We'll get it. We'll get it.
They have girls like blowing wind in the back.
Joy says she thinks those are ducks, not chickens. Okay.
Well,
Austin
I'm
Austin
sure.
is a little bit of a country boy.
I'm sure
it's
knows
a
the
beat.
difference.
Right. I'm sure, but it could have been raining so hard that he really couldn't tell through the rain.
Okay.
That's what I'm guessing.
All righty.
Hey, Tyler, we've got a lot of people talking about this seed starting mix, but we did actually get a question that came in early this morning that says, what's your favorite soil to start seedlings indoors with?
Uh-oh.
You want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure, why not? Okay, so we realized at Earth Mix that we needed to offer a neutral seed starting medium, and we have that in our ingredient that we use to replace peat moss, which you'll usually find in potting mixes and seed starting mixes. It's coconut coir, and it is more sustainable than peat moss. David talks about it a lot on the Earth Mix segments, and we just decided we needed it in a smaller quantity, and we needed to position it and let people know that it's great for seed starting. Now, the thing about it is that particular mix is great for seed starting, not seed continuing.
Right.
So you're going to need to transplant that or fertilize to keep your seed starts growing. So this is our seed starting mix is essentially good to get them going and then transplant them into another pot or container or outdoors.
Till like the second set of leaves or so, like till they...
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when the true leaves of the seedlings start to appear, you'll see they look very different.
So it's the stuff in the pink bag, but just in a smaller quantity.
And Correct. It's in a white bag right
white
now.
Bag. Okay.
It's called Sustained Seed Starter.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah.
And we're gearing it towards that, but you can also use it to amend your houseplant, your container mixes.
No fungus gnats ever come from it. No.
So it's great for moisture retention, but also drainage. And if you need to make it even more drainy, you can add some perlite or some Enlighten if you want to do that.
Sure.
But
sure. Well, what I would say is once you've gotten them started, you just move to Organics High.
Yeah.
And that's the other one. If you want to start seeds and sustain them, like with fertilizer, indoor is the way to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I love indoor. I know you already mentioned that, Adam, but it's amazing.
Good stuff.
It's
good
so
stuff.
good.
Yep.
I hadn't used it before I started working here. Now it's all I use for my houseplants. Okay, we do have quite a few live questions in, so let's get to them.
Let's do it.
We got one from Colin. Colin, it's been so long since we've got a question from you.
Yes.
I was so happy to see you pop up. Colin says, Caroline, my super tall corn plant is slowly but surely losing its fullness. Little sprigs start on some of the trunks, but brown out. It's in a corner, getting bright indirect light, too much light, too little light, not enough water, not enough fertilizer. So these kind of tend to do that. They try to push out new growth near the base of the plant all the way down, and then a lot of times that will just die, or it'll take the energy from that growth up top, which is really where I would want it. So typically when it starts to push out those little like pups, I would say, I just cut them off and lose them so it can keep on pushing up top. Now, with your heat on in your house this winter, I bet it might be a humidity issue if it's starting to kind of brown out and get crispy. And you probably need to up your watering just a little bit. Now, with that being said, this is a plant that does like to sit dry, as you probably know. So make sure you have good drainage. It's in well-draining soil. I love Earth Mix Indoor for mine. That one is really good for them. But you might need to up the water. But Colin, you can email us a photo so I can take a better look at it just to make sure. But the lighting, bright indirect, that's exactly what you want for it. You've got that right. I mean, it sounds like it's in a good spot. Fertilizing at this time of year, you don't need to do that, so it shouldn't be that. I would say it's a humidity and water issue. But Colin, send us a photo.
Yep.
We can all see it. All right, and then Joyce says, I just learned that there are small green giant arborvitae, Green Valley, that only get about 20 foot tall. Do you carry?
No, but I think that American Pillar, which is kind of a new one, is similar to that.
It's similar, and I think it's a little slimmer than Green Giant. Now, of course, I always say this, because when the breeders come out with these new plants, they kind of estimate.
I guess.
Yeah, it's an educated guess.
Okay,
for sure.
They're smart people.
So that's great. I actually haven't even heard of that variety. So that's awesome for a smaller area. So either American Pillar, like Ben was saying, and I'm sure that one will become available. I'm sure we'll probably end up.
I mean, I've seen emerald greens get 20 foot. if they're old enough.
Oh, sure.
I've definitely seen that. So
sure, yeah.
Usually it's what, like 5-10 year estimate, maybe.
Yeah. When they give you those estimates, it's usually like a 10-year.
What was the Green Giant's little buddy? Remember the old vegetable commercials? Ho ho ho.
The Jolly Green Giant?
Yeah, no, it was the
Baby corn.
Sweet pea.
Sweet pea, I think is what it was. Yeah, I think so.
Sprout.
Sprout. I think it was Sprout. You're right. It was his son.
It shows that the Gardening Inside Out show, it takes a village. Tell me who it was. It's going to drive me crazy.
That's true. Somebody needs to let us know.
They'll flood in the comments.
Okay. Yeah, somebody needs to let us know. I think it was Sprout, though. I think you're right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Colin did say, ooh, super helpful. Yes, barely watering it. So up your water. And also when you're watering it, make sure you're watering it thoroughly and getting all the way to the bottom of the plant, because if you're not getting to the bottom, you're not getting to a lot of those new roots, thus making it lose some leaves, and the new growth is going to come out even smaller.
But you want to make sure the excess is drained off.
Correct.
Though, right?
Yeah. And then it's not sitting in water. So I usually will water a lot, just about all my houseplants like this. I'll water them thoroughly. Watch for water coming out of the bottom, and then if it doesn't absorb that within like 30 minutes or so, I'll make sure I dump it out. Now with my ferns and other plants, I'll let them sit, but Dracaena, not so much. All right, let's get to some more questions, you guys. Pam is saying, do crocus and buttercups need covering next week with the temps below 10? They don't look too good now.
I would say narcissus probably could weather it. I mean,
I think so.
I mean, they're not pushing yet. I wouldn't.
I've seen.
Oh, they are. I have some.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah. I have some cut and sitting on my mantle right now.
The crocus.
Okay.
I mean, the crocus. If you want to cover them, I mean, if you want to cover any of them, go ahead. It's not, it's not illegal as far as I know. But
I don't think you're going to hurt them unless it's like no plastic.
Yeah, you want to make sure it's a breathable material. But I honestly think narcissus would be fine. I don't think it's going to hurt them.
Saw some daylilies popping yesterday, and I mean, they'll be okay.
Now, you're just saying narcissus is the buttercup?
Yes.
I always thought it was a daffodil, or is that a narcissus?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yes and yes.
Okay.
That's the beautiful thing about common names, Josh.
And they're common?
They're common.
They're very good.
And there's a lot of them.
There's so many. It gets a little bit confusing.
The coolest thing is a daffodil with snow under it.
Oh, it's awesome. It is awesome.
Yeah. When they're peeking up, when they're just like, hey.
And their little heads just kind of fall over when they get cold.
I kind of want you to write a book about that, Josh, and read it.
Or a poem.
My
The
dear
chili
and sainted-
daffodil.
Yeah.
That was my dear and sainted mother's favorite flower. So I mean, she loved them when the little daffodils
awesome.
put their little heads down. Is what she used to say. My sensitive side's coming out.
Oh, no. All right. We'll get to another question, Josh. All right. All right. Pam says, I'm an earth mix all the way plant lady. I've
There you
changed
go.
all my inside plants to it, only soil to use.
Beautiful.
Yes, agree.
Beautiful.
I love that.
Yep.
And I love the indoor
Well,
so
and,
much.
You know, you try to raise children to use, and my children have been around since the beginning of Earth Mix. And they grew up with it. They stepped out. They bought a bag of the other stuff.
Oh.
Got fungus gnats, didn't
Regret.
you? Didn't you, Elijah? Got fungus gnats. Okay.
Regret.
Yeah, that happens. Fungus
It happens
gnats
in the
are
best families. So
does. You know, you learn from it.
You got to test
You
the
do.
waters.
Learn your
You
lesson.
do. I mean, you see what your parents do, and your parents, try to teach you well, and then you go, you know what?
I ain't doing it that way.
I'm my own person. I'm going to do what I want to do. And then you realize, they were right.
There was a reason they were doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, they were right.
But, you gotta
Earth
learn
Mix
your
will
own
be there
lessons.
the entire time
Exactly.
to welcome you back.
Exactly.
all along the way. All right, when can I plant sunflower seeds? If you're planting them outside, which is how I do it, not now.
No.
You've got to wait a couple more
I'll
months.
say a couple months.
Yeah, you want to wait till the soil temperature gets a little bit up there. Not all the way up there, but yeah, I would say sometime in mid-April maybe, or
Yeah,
late,
that's
late
usually
April.
when late April is when I start
Late April, yeah.
Because if we get a frost, it's just going to
Well, they won't
zap those
germinate if
little
it's not warm
seedlings.
enough.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll just sit there.
Oh, I love sunflowers. I'm going to plant a lot this year. My favorite is the teddy bear sunflower, and I just wanted to mention that. If you
They really did get only about a foot tall.
Yeah, they stay
That's
tiny,
pretty
but they
cool.
also get multiple blooms from one plant. Like a lot of times with sunflowers, it just sends up one stalk and it gets one bloom. But these are like little shrubs. They're so cute.
Yeah.
And if you plant them, get like 3 seed packets, spread them all really close together, you will not be disappointed. They are the cutest sunflower that there is.
Teddy Patch.
Teddy Patch, make you a Teddy Patch. Go ahead
If you have
and
a
do it.
kiddo, you have them walking through it, and it looks like they're like Godzilla stomping through the sunflower patch. It's pretty cool.
There we go. There we go.
But we do have those here at the nursery right now, so come on out and get you some. All right, suggestions for a new full sun landscape bed. Low maintenance is a plus. I'd say yucca and prickly pear would be mine.
That'd be zero maintenance until
Zero.
until it gets out of control.
Well, my goat, which is abelia, any of the dwarf abelias would be great too for low maintenance sun, flowers all summer, evergreen. So.
Yep. I mean, I love junipers for their
Yes.
extreme. Now, you just have to watch out on that full size estimate on some of these. They can get a little bigger than you think, but the creeping ones are a pretty safe bet if you just
we had those on the show. We had those on the show.
What
last
do you
week.
like? I mean, just about anything will really do well in full sun.
Juniper
Lots.
wise,
A lot
yes.
of stuff will, yeah.
Yeah, folks. So you just got to pick out what you like the best.
Additional support for Gardening Inside Out is brought to you by Bates Nursery and Garden Center, a third-generation nursery located in Nashville, Tennessee, and 20-time recipient for Nashville's Best Garden Center, offering the widest selection of new arrivals for fall, like specimen conifers, Japanese maples, and pansies in nearly every color. Open year-round, minutes from the heart of Nashville in beautiful Whites Creek, Tennessee. Browse their selection online anytime at batesnursery.com. Bates Nursery and Garden Center, beautifying Nashville since 1932.
Y'all, let's get back into questions because we still have quite a few. Colin is saying, I've had such bad luck with jade plants, they always defoliate. It's probably a watering issue, Colin. They will defoliate really, really quickly if you overwater them. It'll take a little while, and then all of a sudden they'll just start dropping all their leaves. So if you're watering them too often, that's going to happen. Let them sit dry for at least like 5 days. Make sure that soil is all the way dry, and then completely soak them like I talked about earlier, and it should be just fine. And then we did get a question in about a jade yesterday. My variegated jade plant's new leaves are coming out pink. Is this normal?
Cool.
Yes, it is pretty normal. It's sun stress. So it sounds like your jade is getting some direct sunlight. And that's what will happen when it's getting direct sunlight. It'll have pink around the edges. It's really, really cool. It's a great look. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just really happy and kind of Valentine's Day themed. You've got that pink in that jade plant. So you're doing everything right. And yes, that is very, very normal. All right. Do I need to mulch a newly planted bed, or is it all aesthetics?
I mean, you're going to get
It's
weeds
helpful.
popping up soon. I mean, we'll get annual weeds soon. So
I already have them.
There are
Good
cool.
stuff.
There's cool season weeds already coming out. Yeah. So mulching. Yes. Is it aesthetics? Yes. Now the aesthetic part really is what kind of mulch you're using. The plants generally do not care what kind of mulch it is. Now mulching is for moisture retention. It's a moisture thing. And it's a temperature thing, and it's also weed prevention. So, we usually, if you've got a bed, it's usually good to mulch it. What do you think, Ben?
I mean, you just have to work a lot more if you don't mulch.
Yeah.
That's my. I mean, and it's a tool for making it look great. I mean, it makes your beds look fantastic, makes your plants pop, but it'll make your job a lot easier. I mean, if you're not using any sort of chemical control on weeds, it's your really next best option other than getting your shovel out. So
And a lot of folks
it'll save you.
And a lot of folks use mulch and a pre-emerge.
Sure,
Correct.
So,
You can double it up, Josh.
Yep.
I always mulch my beds. I like how it looks. It helps with weeds.
Now down the line, if you put too much on year after year and it doesn't break down, you may have to remove some down the line. Sometimes it decomposes enough where you don't have to.
Yeah.
There is a little bit to know about it. All right. On YouTube, Mikey says, I just signed up for the Bates Nursery newsletter.
Awesome.
Shout out to
Right.
Mikey.
Mikey
Amazing.
Mulcahy.
You will not regret it.
Clapping for you.
Yes.
You really won't. Even if you live out of town, if you're not able to come here in person and shop, like we talked about earlier, it's still worth the read, even if you're not just trying to sign
He
up
wins
for
awards
deals.
for it. I mean,
He does, yeah.
So come on, it's a great little. It's 3 minutes of your life once a week.
Once a week, that's all. And you can look forward to it.
I would say it's 3 minutes of joy.
It's a good
Yeah.
read.
Yeah, I would say so too, Josh.
Yeah, well, I didn't say it wasn't pleasant. Goodness gracious.
We're just kidding.
I understand.
All right, suggestions for low maintenance houseplants for an office setting in lower light.
Plastic.
So plastic if you want to go that way. There are some great looking plastic plants, but those are not going to help the oxygen in your environment. So Sansevieria would be my top choice. I've had some that I did not water for 3 whole months. So those can sit dry as long as there's not a bunch of people within the office trying to take care of that plant, which does happen. Then they will get overwatered and die. But Sansevieria, ZZ plant, and Dracaena would be the 3 that I would suggest. They can just sit there for a long period of time. They don't need a ton of light as long as there's a window in the room that's at least reflecting some indirect light that's going to get to those plants. They will look great. We've got tiny ones, big ones, all different shapes and sizes, all different colors.
Lots of offices have cornflowers or corn plants.
Cornflowers.
Cornflowers, corn plants.
Yes, like we talked about earlier with Colin. Yeah, that's another one that would be great. And then let's talk figs. I know David's not here to talk about them, but I think we can.
Okay.
When can I cut back my Chicago hardy fig tree? It usually only comes back from the ground.
I'm going to wait. I've got 2 of them.
Yeah, I would wait and see.
Yeah. You kind of want to, with those, you kind of want to wait and just kind of see what they do, But once you see where the buds are opening and where the new stuff's coming out at, then you can kind of bring it down to where all that green stuff is.
And if it is at the ground, they'll coming up anyway.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I was checking mine. I have a couple. I think I have 1 Chicago hardy and then 2 that I don't know what they are. But yeah, they're still green when I scratched them. I mean, mine always come back from the ground, but I want to cut them back because I don't like how those look in the winter, and I want to take them out, but I'm leaving them up at least for now just to see.
They're a little spindly.
One year I put Christmas lights on them. That looked
cool.
kind of cool because it comes from the ground, so it's just all these big, giant, sticks coming up. And it was a nice look, but, I'm not going to do that again. It took so much time. All right, my houseplants are leaning towards the window. What can I do to keep them growing straight?
Turn them.
What about one of these? Yeah.
Look at this. Tyler, pan over.
What am I doing?
Lazy Susan, go. Yes. This is what you need. An electronic Lazy Susan that's just going to spin your house plant so it's no longer leaning. The reason why it's leaning towards the window is because it's reaching for that light. So if you just give it like a quarter turn every couple days, it will start growing more evenly. You can stake it up to kind of help hold it up while you start rotating that plant, or go on Amazon.
Little
get you a Lazy
supplemental light,
Susan.
yeah.
You could get a little grow light, put it up above. You could do so many things. You guys, I think this is the first time, at least in a year, that we have made it to the end of our questions.
Oh,
wow.
No way.
Yes,
nice.
way. Isn't that amazing?
Now, I will say I do have a little anecdote about figs. A friend of mine and a retired landscaper named Tommy Warden, he gave me some fig shoots that he pruned before, like back in November or whatever. And I'm rooting those right now. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah,
So,
they're really
Yeah.
easy to root.
yeah, so we'll see.
I got part of mine froze out. I have a brown turkey. Part of mine froze out. I actually, at David's advice, took a growing limb, brought it around, scored the bottom of it, put a brick on top of it.
Oh, sure. It'll root to the ground.
And it
Yeah.
rooted
Oh,
right
yeah.
to the ground.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
brought it back to.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
one branch that kind of keeps running along the ground and then shoots are coming up. Yeah, they're really easy to propagate.
Yeah.
So you could, don't come out here and cut ours in the spring.
Yeah.
No,
No.
Just buy you one and then you can
You can do it
share
as
with
much as you
your
want
friends.
once you buy it. Yeah.
But there's actually a property on Whites Creek that is,
Actually, it's 2 doors down from us. Yeah.
Yep.
He
you almost had the band name, but not quite 3 doors down.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
very true.
So close.
Yeah, they have, I don't even know how many they have.
There's at least
dozens.
50.
Dozens.
Got it in rows.
Yeah.
It's just like, rows and rows. I
Yeah.
wonder how many figs they get. I don't get a ton of figs, but I'm way
Well,
north.
I know by talking to our mutual neighbor that they make stuff out of it, and they get a lot. I mean, they make jams and stuff with it.
In the years that they produce, again, some years it's more than others.
Yeah, it's a weather thing, for sure.
And in the years that they produce, you've got more figs.
Prolific.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
and
Oh, they're so good.
Figs are amazing. They're one of my favorites. And I do get a few off mine at least every year. Some years, like Josh was talking about, is way better than others. Last year was not that great.
It was iffy.
Yeah.
We
But
got-
it's
I think
not
I got
really
like
pollen
8.
dependent. It's not really has nothing to do with pollination. They're
Good old hornets,
it's,
man.
Well, it's strictly
Don't-
weather,
yeah.
really.
Yeah.
Don't look it up because you'll never eat another fish.
That's
Okay.
true. Yeah. It's those little microscopic wasps
Yeah,
that get in there. Yeah.
yeah,
Look it up. You will. I know
okay.
what they look like, and I still eat them. Hey, Donna is saying, I have a jade plant that had bloomed twice. It's approximately 10 years old, stays in my greenhouse year round. Yeah, you don't often see jade plants blooming. We do have some in bloom right now in our houseplant greenhouse. It's a really pretty... I mean, it's not like a super, super showy bloom, but it's all these little tiny white blooms. It's clustered atop the jade plant, and it's super cute. Very nice.
Pull up the radar one more time, Adam.
Are we looking at the weather one more time?
Let's
take
see what the radar is
Just
doing.
take
Yeah.
the radar looks
During the
like.
Too bad we don't
broadcast.
have Austin Waters to
That's
come back
right.
in.
Okay,
Let
folks,
us
it's
know.
still raining, but
Yep.
it looks like it's moving to the north, and it's gonna
North and east.
and it's
Yep.
gonna be spotty and intermittent all day long. But you'll want to come out here to the nursery today because it is inside.
Yes.
Everything's around.
Yes.
And
Certainly for planting, the ground is going to be very soft.
Oh, tomorrow will be great.
Yeah.
For planting.
absolutely
Yeah.
Oh, I might do that tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
nice and
Planting
soft.
day.
And while you're out here, pick up some Earth Mix Landscape or Earth Mix Supernatural.
Supernatural.
Yep.
You got to get it going, folks. Hey, it's been a great show from you guys today because we had a huge amount of participation on the socials. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for being
Love you out there, YouTube. Love you, Facebook. Love you on Twitch. Even though, got to come on Twitch. We need to get some Twitchers. Is that what they are?
I think so.
Twitchies.
I like Twitchers.
Twitchers.
Twitchites.
I'm a fan of that.
Okay, but next Saturday morning, come back, and Austin and David are scheduled to be in the studio.
Yes.
So that will be
Cool.
a good thing. Hey, we appreciate you. See you right here next Saturday morning from the Green Room Studios for Gardening Inside Out.
Thank you for tuning into the Gardening Inside Out podcast. If you're looking for more information or more from your hosts, don't forget that we have a live Saturday morning broadcast, 8 a.m. Central Time on YouTube and Facebook. You can also follow us on our Instagram channel. That's @Gardening Inside Out for more posts, reels, and in-depth dives to topics and things we've discussed on the show. If our content resonates with you, consider giving us a follow, like, and subscription on all of our social media pages. See you next time.